Hi, I'm Benny Lopez. I've been a member since 2010. In real life, I'm a real estate businessman. I own a property management company and some real estate investments, so it's a boring job, but that's what you do to make money.
My name is Ralph Chupi Garcia. I'm one of the founding membber from 2010. I'm an aircraft mechanic at nighttime for FedEx.
Hi, I'm Kevin Webster. I've been a New York Red Bull supporter since 2009, and I've been a Viking Army supporter since 2010. I started going to games at Giant Stadium with my son in 2009, and 2010 when they built the new arena, I got season tickets, and I was up in 224, and I saw what was going on in the South Ward, and I wanted to check it out. So I came down during one of the games, and that's how me and Benny and Chupi got together, and we got talking during the games, after the games, on Facebook, and I think Benny had started the Hansbach Viking Army Facebook page, and I think one of the first games was when we had some banner or something.
Right, this banner actually.
And we had a drum. It was me, Benny, Chupi, my son, and we just walked around the banner with the banner around the arena, banging a drum, going up and down the sections.
Yeah, I forgot about
Nobody
that.
knew what was going on with that. And so as 2010 went, the Facebook page started getting more traction and more people were getting on there, and everybody was having a lot of fun with it. And then in the fall of 2010, we had gotten a call from Minchella, who was ticket sales. He wanted to find out what Viking Army was all about, so we went out to dinner with him, and he was digging what we were talking about, what we wanted to do. And there was an empty 102. It was a supporters section, but there was no supporters club there. So me, Benny, and Chupi went to Al Pastor to kind of sit down and decide, what we want this club to become, what do we want to do with it. That's when we changed it from Hansbach Viking Army to Viking Army, knowing that Hansbach wasn't going to be there forever. And so then in December, me, Benny, Chupi, met with the front office and Magnus. That's when we unveiled Magnus to the front office. They weren't too happy about Magnus, and Benny went on about that until I think they finally okayed that night to let us have Magnus in the stadium. And that's how Viking Army started. I mean, that first year, we didn't have paid membership or nothing. Everything was coming out of our pockets. We had a shirt, we had made the banner, Chupi made the banner, we had shirts made, scarves made, everything was out of our own pocket. Flags, we went and bought the poles and bought flags and everything. And 2011, was that paid membership or no? Or was that the first?
No, 2000 was the first free. Everybody was free. Wanted to make sure that everybody was happy, so we were all about. And and then the following year, which was 2012, was the charter membership scarf and stuff. Yeah.
So and that's pretty much how Viking Army started. And we didn't know how big we were going to be. We just wanted to have fun, and we all kind of clicked, and we just wanted to do something with no rules. We kind of just wanted to let it become whatever it becomes, and it became Viking Army what it is today. It's great.
Where did why are we so much fun come from, start, whatever? Well, since day one, again, we always wanted to make sure that everybody came, had a good time, and went home happy. In anything and everything that we did. So it just started. Next, we have T-shirts, we had a banner, but and when we ask people why did you choose the Viking Army, and a lot of times, the reason they say is because you guys were the most welcoming. Each the other clubs, they have a certain way of the way they do things, and we just we want to make sure that everybody is happy and has a great time. So from all the silly, stupid things that we do, everybody has fun. So then they word of mouth, and they speak to somebody else, and then they come in and they have a good time, and then everybody understands why are we so much fun.
Yeah, it's like a rhetorical question. Like, it answers itself. If you're here holding that up, you know why we're so much fun. It's right there. It's just kind of saying it. But when we actually got our own bar is when a lot of this crazy stuff happened, because we didn't have our bar in 2012. So once we got our bar, it was like we can do the events the way we want to do it. Chupi can blast the music the way he wants to do it. I want to play this song first, I want to play that song. And like the whole bar would be going crazy. It was like a frat house, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
In 2011.
Yeah, it was.
It was crazy. And these guys came up with the why are we so much fun? And they were writing it on Facebook, road trips. And I don't know what year I made the banner, the flag, but then we started holding the flag up. But those pre-games at the bar were legendary. I mean, there was no other supporters club in the MLS that was having the pre-games we were having or the marches into the stadium.
Yeah.
We were like at the top of the MLS and that.
Definitely the marches, you know, well, of course it was entire software with that, but yeah, it was the pre-games are pretty crazy, I have to admit.
All right, so another thing that I love about Viking Army is there was a lot of friendships that were made, and they extended outside the arena also. So it wasn't just about meeting on game day. We did a lot of other things outside of the club, outside of the arena. One of my most memorable things was doing the Red Bull Flug Tag. We did that for 3 years.
Yeah.
11,
Philadelphia.
12, 13, 11, 12, and 13?
11, 12, and I think it was like 15.
Okay. So the first one we did was in Philly. We did like a Fred Flintstone car, and that allowed us to kind of figure out how Flug Tag works, all the rules and what rules they enforce, which ones they don't. Next year we went to DC, and that's when we did the Viking Army ship, and we got second place.
That was really fun.
That was awesome.
That was great.
That was a good time. And
Definitely
then I think we took a break for a year maybe, and then we went up to Boston, and we did the hot rod.
Well, what happened was we wanted to do it, keep doing it, but there wasn't anything close. So we had to wait like 2 years. So the next one was Boston.
Yeah. So that was my most memorable moments as a Viking Army supporter. That and being on the field for the supporter shield.
Shuby's like, we have to be the club that welcomes everybody. Doesn't matter if you've never seen the guy before. It doesn't matter if it's a family or somebody, you know, a brand new person. Just welcome them. You know, give them a scarf, buy them a drink, whatever. Like, just make everybody feel comfortable. Let's grow this thing. Let's make it the biggest section in the South Ward. Let's fill the whole entire stadium to the top. And you know, that's your personality, though, right? You're like that kind of person in the world. It's not like you're just doing it for the supporters club.
Treat everybody
like
the same way.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that, you know, you come to his house, get him a drink, sit down, whatever. He'll start a conversation with anybody. You know, if you can notice if somebody's like their first time or they don't really know anybody, he'll go up to them and, you know, so how do you like the team and this and that.
Well, you know, this makes me really proud because at the beginning of the day, you know, that's what we want. Somebody to come and have a good time and you know, have the best experience ever. You know, everybody comes, they have a great time and they go home. What they don't really understand or, you know, get is all the work that goes into making any of this possible. You know, you could ask our families, everybody who's on the board. You know, most of us go ahead and you know, late nights, long days, you know, game day, we're here, let's say 7 o'clock game, we're here at 1 p.m. You know, me, for example, I have to clean up tailgate stuff and whatever, then I'm here an extra 2 hours after the game. You know, it means a lot. It really means a lot because this is what we wanted, you know, people to feel. And again, you know, it means all the hard work that we've put into this all these years is working and you know, and it makes me really feel good, you know, pretty much.
So I think since the beginning, Chupi especially always wanted to do stuff for the community, give back. So once we became a more official club with paid memberships and dues and fees, we were able to do a lot more of that. We ended up becoming a 501c7 nonprofit organization. So all the money that comes in, thank God, we can roll it out to the different organizations that need help, you know, tax-free. So that works out. So I think one of my personal favorite tifos was when we met with the New England fans after the Boston marathon bombing.
Yeah, Boston.
Somebody from our club contacted somebody from their club.
Fran and Spence.
Yeah, and so we made a big banner, and they came from this side of the street, and we came from this side of the street. We, you know, we greeted them like a mutual respect kind of thing. We were playing against each other, but just for those, you know, 20 minutes before the game, we opened a big banner up in front of the street. It was a really special moment.
And we marched together into the, you know, well, down Frankie Rogers, straight down into the front of the stadium, and then we did a bunch of chants, which was pretty cool. Yeah, you don't actually see that all the time, so.
Yeah, that's something I'll remember my whole life. And another one is with the umbrellas. Like, it was a really hard time to get the umbrellas approved. It was the hottest day of the year. It was like 106. We're playing Chicago. Don Garber came to the game. It was one of those summer camp games where they bring all the kids in for free or whatever. So rain or shine, we're like hoping it rains, you know. And so we did rain or shine. We love New York Red Bulls. everybody in the section held up an umbrella. It was really cool.
What do I see the Viking Army in the future? Well, hopefully, people keep coming out, giving their support, and making Viking Army what it is today, and continue what we've started. Giving back to the community, coming out to support the team at home, coming out to road trips. Again, that's huge. The players can't say enough about it when they step out on the field, and say when they hear us chanting, singing, what that makes them feel. But just come out and keep coming and having fun and supporting the team. I've never, to me, it never mattered how big the club was, as long as people came out and were true. Meaning true that they came out, they had a good time, and that's what it's all about. So at the end of the day, just of course, we want the Viking Army in 20 more years, fun and craziness, and but that's pretty much it. Just want everybody to keep coming out and supporting the Viking Army.
Yeah, I mean, in this culture, it's about quality. If you have like 10 quality people, it's almost better than having 100 people that really don't know what they're doing. Because those 10 people can kind of inspire the 10 people around them, and the 10 people around them, and the 10 people around them. So if you have 10 guys that are really charismatic and authentic and get the section pumping, those 10 people, it's really 100 people when you look at the entire section. So like, let's say now you can get 100 people like those 10 people. Now it's 1,000 people. So I really appreciate the slow, steady growth, like old people staying along and new people coming in, and not just some big rapid explosion. Like steady growth, the team is good, we're gonna have a good season, even if the team's not that good, we'll stay there, membership will be high. Hopefully we'll win an MLS Cup somewhere along the line.
Looking back 8 years from when Viking Army first started with me, Benny, and Choopy, I'm glad to see that it's still going and getting stronger every year. And I love that so many people are enjoying Viking Army, getting involved with Viking Army. I mean, from the get-go, it was a social club, it was a supporters club, it was just another means for people to get to hang out together, have a good time. Some people end up getting married because of it.
Yeah, people get
married. The one rule we had about Viking Army is there was no rule. You just have fun, do what you want. We had no guidelines, it was just have a good time. And I hope it continues for another 20, 30 years. And can't wait to get that cup.